Hi, welcome to Rebel. I'm here with the one and only Sana Solomon Fragrance.
Hi everyone.
And welcome back to yet another first impression. And this is going to be a lot of fun because we are going to take a sniff of Boss Bottled Elixir. You have not tried this, right?
No.
So this was a blind buy, and Boss fragrances are a bit like hit and miss for me. Some I absolutely love,
Yes.
and some are just not that special. But I had so many subscribers commenting on how good they think this is, so this is
Okay.
going to be interesting.
Yes.
So like always, we have prepared fragrance strips with the dry downs, but please spray on the opening.
Yes, and do I get my own test strip this
Yes,
time?
finally! I'm not sure why it took us so long to start using two test strips. There was someone in my comments like, hey, why are you guys not using two test
I
strips?
like sharing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really woody straight away.
Yeah?
And I think I need some on my hand as well.
Yeah,
You?
I think so. I'm, as you can see, not blown away.
Okay.
Smells like something I've smelled before.
Mm-hmm.
Really
could that be?
woody, kind of fresh aromatic. I do miss a bit of sweetness. To me, many of the elixir fragrances comes with a dose of sweetness. So I was hoping for some sweetness in this one, but I would not say that this is a sweet fragrance, unfortunately.
Okay, this is interesting in that it's a bit sort of a darkish.
Yeah.
This is not a bright or fresh kind of opening
No.
in any way. This pretty much straight away, at least to my nose, is a big dose of woodiness, a slight hint of something that is spicy, and a bit of something incense-ish.
Yes.
So something like that in the
Something-
background. So like a woodiness, incense, something like that with a bit of spiciness. This fragrance, compared to a lot of modern fragrances, does not open up with bergamot or any
No.
kind of freshness. It pretty much straight goes into something woody and sort of a dark. And I think this is a masculine opening. It's a dark, sort of a dark opening. It's a very woody kind of opening. I don't feel this is a bad opening. But based on this first impression, I'm not blown away. It's not something that I find that makes me go like, wow, this is amazing.
No.
So how do you feel about it?
As you say, this is very woody. It's therefore very masculine. I am not very fond of it. And to be honest, this goes into the same direction as the original. And you know what I think about the original.
Yeah, you don't like it.
No, it's a bit boring.
And a few minutes into the dry down, it actually gets, at least to my nose, quite a bit better. When this thing starts to slowly dry down and go sort of into the mids, I feel its amberiness is amped up. So this thing opens up woody, spicy with a bit of amberiness in the background. That amberiness is growing in intensity as this thing dries down. And as this thing dries down, I feel this becomes a lot more attractive. Still, however, not something I feel, okay, there you go. Still not something that blows me away. Let's move on to the dry down. So the dry down, let's take a sniff of it.
I'm sorry. I just keep yawning.
Okay, stop it.
Still very ambery.
Yeah,
Of course, woody. Still peppery also.
how do you feel about it?
I'm trying to think, like, just because I'm not going to say that I dislike it because it's
Okay.
not a bad fragrance. But just because I don't specifically love it, it doesn't mean that this is a bad fragrance. So I was trying to think of who is this for? Who would like this? And maybe the ones who likes the original and want something a bit darker and a bit different, more for like nighttime and so on, maybe they will tend to like this more. But to me, this is still a bit uninteresting, and I'm really missing something fruity or sweet in it. That would have made it so much better.
So the dry down, it just feels like this, that sort of initial sharpness has sort of softened up. So this is a lot more interesting and appealing when this thing dries down. It's still woody, it's still spicy, its spiciness is less sharp, so that part has softened up quite a bit, and it's still quite ambery, but I do feel that that amberiness that sort of piqued my interest when this thing went into the mids have sort of softened up a bit too much in the dry down. So I actually enjoyed that amberiness when it was hitting the mids. Now it's quite soft. So
Have you noticed something?
yeah, you're holding both strips.
I just wanted to try if you by default would give it to me, and you actually
yeah,
did.
I gave it, but I was in the back of my mind. I was thinking, okay, what do you need it for? But I gave it to you. Can I please have it back? Thank you. So this is nothing like the original. This is very, very different compared to the original. Now, I don't own all the Boss Bottled, and I have forgotten about some of them, so I could be wrong. But if I remember correctly, this is also quite different compared to all the Boss Bottled fragrances out there. So to sum this up, this opens up quite spicy and woody, and as it heads into the mids, you get this amberiness coming in, and that amberiness sort of starts to pique my interest. As it dries down, everything becomes a bit fuller, yet soften up. So its spiciness is not as sharp as in the opening, its woodiness is sort of diffused, quite nice. And as it dries down, its amberiness is also becoming a bit fuller, yet soften up to the point where I actually enjoyed it a bit more in the mids. This is primarily like a woody and spicy scent that's a bit ambery with hints of something that is sort of incense-ish. It's definitely not a bad fragrance, but at least based on this first impression, I'm lacking something that makes me go wow. This does not make me go wow. So here are my initial thoughts on usage, so like versatility, seasons, occasions, stuff like that. This is actually a fragrance I feel is more suitable towards fall, winter and spring. When it comes to occasions, I would say like special occasions primarily. So Boss Bottled Elixir, at least in my opinion, is something more for sort of a special occasions.
Yeah, I agree with the occasions. I think this is the one you spray on in the fall and in the winter. I wouldn't use this in the spring because this is a bit too woody, and in the spring I want something a bit more uplifting.
This was interesting. I'm a bit disappointed because I was expecting, at least I was hoping for a banger. I don't feel this is a bad fragrance, and who knows, maybe this is going to grow on me the more I use it. I am going to wear this a lot more, giving it proper sort of wearings, but currently, based on this first impression, it's a decent scent. It's not a bad fragrance, but it lacks something exciting. Yes, it's woody, yes, it's spicy, yes, it's a bit ambery, but is that enough to make this a banger? No. How would you wrap up your initial thoughts on Boss Bottled Elixir?
I think that Boss Bottled did what everyone else is doing right now. Everyone want to bring out an elixir fragrance. They did a good shot, but if they are going to get my attention, they need to make something unique like oud saffron or the Pacific, I think, with the coconut. This is just, to me, boring, and it builds up expectations and it doesn't meet them.
This is something for someone who absolutely loves woody, spicy and ambery fragrances. If you absolutely love that stuff, then this is definitely something you should try out. I would love to know how you feel about Hugo Boss Bottled Elixir. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Or do you think a bit like me in that it's a decent release but nothing special? Please do drop a like on this video. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you head on over to Sandra Solomon Fragrances channel. I'm going to link to her channel in the description below. Sub to her, sub to me, and I'll see you in the next one.